The Armada of Khorne is here, ready to take on the Skelly Boys with Archon the Black leading them, and that Bone Giant in the back's looking pretty cool too. Valkia coming in with the usual, the shield, the spear, all her goodness. 2 Chaos Knights of Khorne, 2 Minotaurs, 4 Marauders, shield variant, and plenty of stuff coming from Tagg versus me. Bone Giant, Neckar Warriors, Skelly Warriors, one thing of Bowmen, and Archon the Black with all his typical goodness. Tagg ain't messing around, and we're gonna fast forward so we don't mess around. Lot going on. I already spent some cash to bring in some halberds, makes sense. Probably getting ready for the Minotaurs and all that goodness. Archon's doing his spell casting, but he took a big miscast. That was a lot of damage for a Spear Leech. Luckily I brought the shield in to ignore a lot of that. And I'm just poking and prodding, just weakening this side in case I ever have to come over here, get some quick, easy value. I mean, look how much damage that did. That had to be, what, 500-600 damage? And yet, here comes the Knights, hiding these Minotaurs out here from the Bone Giant's wrath, rightfully so. Chaos Knights moving into position with only 10 seconds left. Yeah, look at those shots. Useless, silly Bone Giant, but now the Chaos Knights are going to get shot. Honestly, Tagg should have moved up already, onto the point. But to be fair, had he done that, I would have just ran him with the Knights. So what's my thought process with the Knights? They're heavy, they're fast enough, they got solid melee defense. But for, let's see, that's 2,800 value. I could get 3 Chaos Warriors. Chaos Warriors are 850 apiece. 17, yeah, 25, roughly. Yeah, 25.50. I get 3 Chaos Warriors of Khorne instead. So I don't know. But with thinking about Tomb Guard, the only real thing I have to worry about is what? Chosen of the Gods, Sepulchral Stalkers. Typical Tomb Guard really wouldn't work. Unless they're the Halberd variant, which are dropping in soon. But then again, I gotta worry about possibility of getting hit with Screaming Skull catapults, and Chaos Knights can... I find Cav on this map to be pretty well. There's a lot of cover. You can move through all sorts of the openings behind that cover and just keep jumping onto points. I mean, if y'all see my Slanesh game, where I played against Bretonnia, Knights did pretty well. They can move between points pretty fast. This nice wide open map where they can get in between little cracks on the map and get into the back lines. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of backlines to really deal with besides these Bone Knights, Stalkers, and Chosen of the God. And they're ripping apart my Minotaurs, rightly so. I'm down 1,500 value right now. Valkia's chasing off us bony men. And it's tough to say where Valkia should be right now. Honestly, I think she should be back with the... doing some rear charges, honestly. But supporting my Minotaur seemed way more important. Seems way more important. Gonna get intercepted by Dakar Horsemen, which makes sense. And the Minotaurs will chew them up. Look at this though. It's a beautiful shot. And then we got more Minotaurs on those Stalkers and everything. She's eating another Spirit Leech, but she's also dueling to the fates of these Chosen, her natural born enemies. And the Minotaurs are having their way with everything. They're getting bullied. Yeah, maybe I should have brought some Chaos Warriors and Halberd. Maybe 1 in reserve. But what I brought in reserve, I think, is a little bit better. Just a little bit better to deal with a lot of chaff. Seeing as how... well, you guys will see. I won't spoil everything. Some beautiful fights going on. Speaking of, here they are. The dual weapon Chosen. Great for clearing chaff and just about everything else. Not great against Ushapti, but they're not doing bad either. These are the summoned. And I had to throw my horsemen into the fray just to keep his units off the point. maybe a bit unnecessary, but at the same time, they're going to get shot up by Stalkers, so... Valky's sit here stuck, but we got Minotaurs coming back. We have so much going on, it's going to be tough even for Tagg to really get anything in. And he's got his Chosen of the Gods behind these trees, so he's not getting a full volleys off. We are chewing through these units pretty fast. Valkia, 2 units of very weakened Minotaurs are still going to do work. And eventually the Horsemen will come back. Fade of Buta on top of those boys, probably going to get some heal on those Warriors. But yeah, these Chosen, trying to back up these Chaos Knights though, not too bad. But here comes the support from the Horsemen, which will clear a good chunk of these boys while they're in combat. You can't use those shields while you're fighting. And that Fade of Buta is just so nasty, holy shit. He's got his boys and the bows coming in. We got 2 Bloodletters onto the point. And since he's so focused on this point, that must mean he doesn't have a lot on the other side. Although he's beaten me in value by at least 3,000. You know, we can fix that pretty quick. With all that said, though, even with all that value, all his value really is left on his point. On point 2 right now, or objective 2. And we are clearing up objective 3 pretty nicely. And those Chosen are still going, jeez. And then with the Bloodletters coming in, we should be able to clear this up. Marauders of Khorne will, even though they're not the dual axe variant, they will clearing up. Not the Car Warriors, but Skeletals, they'll have an easy time dealing with Skeletals. Skeletal Warriors have only 18 melee attack. What is it, 23, 28 melee defense? Somewhere in there. It's not good. So Bloodletters and Marauders will clear those up pretty nicely. Marauder Horsemen are going in. And we have another Chosen, this time of Khorne. Regular variant. Valkia got out of there pretty nicely. Still only down 3,000, but I think that's going to change once we engage him on this front. And basically triple cap him. And look at this beauty. A little overblobbed. A little too overzealous. But 300 value versus this 1,100 value going on. 1,200 really. Oh, it's going to be beautiful. Look at him chop away. Excuse me. And I'm probably going to lose point 3. But those Chosen, what they got to fight, it's not going to be too bad. And they should be able to clear this up pretty quickly. He's going to need more Fade of Butas. He's got all his spell casting. And, ooh, Valky almost got Archon the Black. Sorry. Talking too fast. And we're still down quite a bit on point. Value, not points. Points, we're pretty good. And yeah, we killed those Skelly boys pretty quick. Now we're going to jump on these Eyes of the Desert. Valkia backing him up. That should be pretty easy. Archon took such a beating from Valkia. Wow, I'm actually impressed. I mean, she's a solid duelist. Not the best. Sword of Khorne, I missed it. Some of you might have caught it. There's a little fight going on with those Chaos Knights over there. And, man, that was a nice Sword of Khorne. There were some fresh units over there, too. I think it was just the Halberd variant. Yeah. Just dropped it on them. Although they should be on point 3 right now, honestly. Valky's still getting Spear Leech. All those miscasts actually are helping out a lot. Archon should not be that low. I mean, Valky is good, but she ain't that good. And we're going to send Valky over here to deal with these Skelly Bowmen. Ooh, it looks like the Sepulchral Stalkers are intercepting more of the Marauder Horsemen. We're trying to spread out these Bloodletters, Khorne Marauders, and we're bringing back the dual Minotaurs. And there really isn't a lot there really isn't a lot of anti-large. Stalkers are pretty low. Chosen of the Gods are almost out of ammo. Bone Giant's almost out of ammo. And so Minotaurs can pretty much run havoc on them. And at this point, I'm probably saving up for another Chosen dual weapons. And I'm down 4,000 value? Really? It really doesn't look like I'm down 4,000 value, but you have to also think, Skeletal Warriors and Skelly Spearmen are really cheap, honestly. Real cheap. 300, 500 points, somewhere between those two, between the two units. It's almost like fighting Skaven, you know? You can't really get your value because they're so damn cheap. But that's kind of why value here is a bit deceiving. All my units are more expensive. They're easier to kill, quote unquote, probably. And his units are dirt cheap, and they're just meant to last. But if they don't last, and you're in their backline, I mean, there's not much you can do. Get 'em, Minotaurs! Yeah, Chosen Guards aren't going to be enough. Sepulchral Stalkers, and yeah, Sepulchral Stalkers just getting caught between all these Khorne warriors. In the mix of all these Minotaurs as well. And look at this bloodbath. Yes, yes! Valkyrie coming in for the drop. Minotaurs coming in for the kill. Marauders coming in to... Well, they're just being marauders. They're just here to eat shit until the Minotaurs cut through everything and then just get in the back line. Yes, Stalkers are almost done. Another Sword of Khorne on some idle Tomb Guard. Because we ain't got a better choice. And those Chosen over there are just cleaning house, honestly. We caught up. We were down 4,000. Now we're almost 3,000. Or 2,000. Yeah, those Chosen of Khorne are nuts. Chewed through all those Tomb Guard. And they're going to chew through a couple more, too. And if we save up enough, we could probably get another Bloodletter or two over there. He's just throwing the Car Horsemen on top just to get chewed up through this blender, this grinder of these Minotaurs who are just claiming skulls. And these are two, they started out as 2 chevrons. So these were 1,400 value units. Chaos Knight's coming in to intercept, not bad either. So yeah, 1,400 value units just chewing through everything, plus each kill, well, each rank and each kill just sends that blood greed going. Yeah, these boys are paying for themselves for sure. That's insane. They can just chew through these. I need to start bringing these guys more. Maybe Chaos Warriors were better than the Chaos Knights. Huh. You can't fade Abuna so many of them, too. But you know what? This is all a learning experience. Yeah. I was really expecting the Screaming Skulls, because if I had Screaming Skulls, Warriors would have been kind of eating shit right now. But if he brings Stalkers, yeah, there's not really a good choice, you know. In this matchup, it's a real pain in the ass. And I do prefer the Knights. They just have that nice staying power, even though they're the weakest of the Knights, in my opinion. But yeah, GG's Tagg. That's going to be game. We caught up in value, actually. Wow, that's insane. Blood for the blood out. Also, Archon died, for those who were wondering. Valkyrie paid for herself, thank goodness. Knights, even though getting summoned twice, well, one of them did not pay for themselves. Ugh, makes sense. How about those Minotaurs? Those Minotaurs, I bet they have that big, juicy value coming in. I mean, look at that, 300 kills? Ugh. Those were all skelly boys. Minotaurs paid for themselves, of course they did. They got summoned twice, but they at least paid for themselves the first time. I mean, that's what you gotta do with Khorne. Just keep sending stuff into the grinder until you can push your opponent back and take the points. That's how I play my World Eaters. Never living long enough. The Chosen, I mean, they got faded. That makes sense. This one definitely paid for itself. It fought 5 units of skelly boys. So that makes sense. What about the Bloodletters? Bloodletters usually do pretty well. No, not this game. Didn't even have time to summon Fleshhounds. Wow. What is what it is. Well, I hope you folks enjoyed that one. If you did, please like, sub. We're on the road to 1,000 right now. We got plenty more games to come. If you did, please. Also, come visit the stream, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time on Fridays. Get a game and play me, play some of the other fellas that come drop in, whether you're here to sweat or, you know, just here to have fun. Alright, folks, with all that said, y'all have a good one. Peace and goodbye for now.